For years, empaths have been the world's emotional punching bags, absorbing everyone's pain, staying silent, taking the abuse, being told they're too sensitive, too emotional, too much. But that era is ending. Right now. Carl Jung predicted this moment, a psychological shift so powerful it would flip the entire social order. The feeler is about to overpower the narcissist. The sensitive are about to dominate the selfish. And if you're an empath, your comeback isn't just possible, it's inevitable. Jung called it the most important psychological evolution of our time. He saw it coming decades ago, a moment when the people who feel everything would finally weaponize their greatest gift, not by becoming cold, not by shutting down, but by becoming strategically dangerous to anyone who ever tried to exploit them. Here's what Jung understood that most people miss. What happens when the shock absorber becomes the engine? What happens when the person who's been silently observing every lie, every manipulation, every hidden agenda, finally decides to use that information? That's not a victim anymore. That's a psychological genius who's been gathering data for years. And the world is about to find out what empaths are really capable of. We live in what psychologists call the age of narcissism, a time when selfishness is rewarded, where manipulation is called strategy, where emotional exploitation is just business as usual. Empaths have been surviving in this world like refugees in enemy territory, constantly drained, constantly overlooked, constantly told their sensitivity is a weakness. But here's what nobody saw coming. Empaths weren't just suffering through this age, they were studying it. Every time someone lied to them, they catalogued the pattern. Every time someone manipulated them, they memorized the technique. Every time someone used them, they learned exactly how predators think. While narcissists were celebrating their short-term wins, empaths were building a complete psychological database of human manipulation. They've spent years in the world's most brutal psychology program, and they're about to graduate with honors. Jung understood something crucial about human development. He called it the law of opposites. When anything reaches its extreme, it transforms into its opposite. Darkness into light, weakness into strength, silence into power. He saw this pattern throughout history, in individuals and entire cultures. The narcissistic age has reached its peak. It's eating itself alive. Society is collapsing under the weight of its own selfishness. And the very qualities that narcissists exploited in empaths are about to become the most valuable skills in human society. Think about what an empath actually is. Someone who can read a room instantly. Who knows when someone is lying before they finish their sentence? Who can sense emotional shifts that others miss completely? Who understands human motivation at levels most people never reach? Who feels the unspoken tension that everyone else ignores? Who picks up on micro-expressions that reveal true intentions? This isn't weakness. This is advanced psychological intelligence. The only reason it looked like weakness was because empaths were using it defensively, trying to keep the peace, trying to help everyone, trying to absorb all the pain so others wouldn't have to feel it. They turned their superpower into a service industry. They became emotional janitors, cleaning up everyone else's psychological mess. They became human shields, protecting others from consequences. They became translators, explaining toxic people to hurt people and hurt people to toxic people. And the whole time, they were undervaluing the rarest skill set in human psychology. But something is shifting, right now, in empaths all over the world. Jung predicted this moment with eerie accuracy. He studied what happens when someone is pushed past their breaking point. Not the breaking point where they collapse, the breaking point where they transform. He had a complicated word for it, enantiodromia, but the concept is simple. When pressure builds to an extreme, the psyche doesn't break, it reverses. It becomes the opposite of what it was. The gentle become fierce, the giving become selective, the open become boundaried. The empath who spent years being nice is about to become real. The person who absorbed everyone's emotions is about to set boundaries like steel walls. The individual who stayed silent to keep the peace is about to speak truth that shatters illusions. The people-pleaser who twisted themselves into pretzels for approval is about to stand so firmly in their own truth that they become unmovable. This isn't a breakdown. This is what Jung called psychological emergence, the birth of the complete self. Here's where it gets interesting. That shadow side that empaths have been suppressing their entire lives. The anger, the boundaries, the refusal to tolerate manipulation, the ability to cut